It's just no contest. It's not even close. And there's lag. Yeah, there's a lot of lag in the GBA version of FF6. Release it on Switch already? You know, Arian, there's a lot to suggest that the SNES FFs are coming to Switch soon. So maybe. Like what? Well, there was a release. There was like an official statement by Square Enix saying that they wanted to bring all of their retro games onto a modern platform, right? And then they released Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 on the Switch, which are debatable on how good the versions are. And then there's the idea that there was we just got all of the PlayStation. So we got our Final Fantasies in reverse. We got 12 and 10, and then we got 7, 8, and 9. What's next? 4, 5, and 6, baby. It's just a matter of time. Not to mention, you have we have the SNES and NES games on the online package that you can buy. Like you could, if you sign up for the Nintendo Online, which is like $3 a month or something, very cheap, so you can do online stuff. You get a bunch of games for it, like tons of games, including Breath of Fire 1 and 2. But no Final Fantasy. Why is there no Final Fantasy? Because Square knows this is an opportunity for them to release their own Final Fantasy packages for the Switch. Like I said, there's a lot of things to suggest that they're going to be bringing the retro Final Fantasies onto the Switch pretty soon. Now, what versions do we get? I don't know. That I don't know yet. We might get the mobile versions, which would be awful. We might get the GBA versions, which would be not as good. We might get the SNES versions, which would be preferable. We want SNES versions for all of them. 4, 5, and 6. Use the GBA translation. Yeah, the thing is, Fondmaster, they're not going to port it to the Switch. They're going to release... I mean, let me be more clear. They're not going to redo it for the Switch. They'll offer one of the versions. And that'll be that. Personally, I want pure SNES one. I want the pure SNES version. I don't care about the translation for FF6 SNES is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's good. Are we raging yet? No, we just started. We're barely even level 5. We're just doing our initial Dragon Quest grind because it's essential, you know? You'd like to see FF6 ported to Switch? Okay, we read that one. Help DQ11S is long? Sure is. But is it great all the way until the first time you get credits? If DQ 1 through 3 are any indication, it will be Steam versions. I don't think that's an indication to it. People know, or they know, that FF5 and 6 were very poorly received for the PC versions. So, alright, he's level 5. She's level 4. And he's level 5. Oops. God dang it. These old menus, eh? And she's level 5. Alright, so let's just gain 1 level on Hiro-chan, and we'll start advancing to wherever we need to go. There's a 3rd Dragon Warrior? I know, right? Crazy. There might even be as many as 11, some say. Some say there are as many as 11. They knew the mobile version of DQ3 was poorly received too? It was the worst selling version of DQ3. I don't know how true that is, but people don't there's not a lot of popularity in the Dragon Quest / Warrior franchise, so when the ports of DQ 1, 2, and 3 came out on the Switch, most people were fine with that. Like, Yoshi, you're playing through the 3 right now on the Switch. Like, what's your opinion of the DQ 1 through 3 on Switch? Like, is it fine? But I really don't think that they would use the mobile versions to go to Switch. I would be very surprised and disappointed. That's a lot of enemies. .360 blaze it! Are the DQ Switch games any good? They are ports of the mobile versions, so whatever you say about the mobile versions. I don't know, I really think Square knows better than to release the mobile 4, 5, and 6. Not to mention FF4 on PC isn't even FF4. It's some other game with FF4 as the name. Like, it's not even the same game mechanically as FF4. It's totally different. You know? So like, I don't know. The only reason I can see them not doing SNES versions is because they know they'd have to develop emulation software that works for the Switch, and it would just be a ROM, which is, you know, a lot of work to develop the software to play the retro games. But if they did do that, they would have an emulation software on Switch that could support a lot of other games, and they could start porting those as well. So, I don't know. Like Chrono Trigger, yeah, they could even do with Chrono Trigger. Console for CT on Steam. At least they tried with CT on Steam. At least they tried, you know? It's an FF4 hard type? No, that's wrong. FF4 hard type is not a thing, really. People have this misconception that FF4 US is easy type. That's not true. FF4 on the US is actually slightly more difficult due to the fact that they took out a ton of spells, items, and abilities, giving you access to less stuff, making it harder. Some enemies and bosses had their HP slightly reduced, but really, the US version is technically the harder version of it. The whole hard type FF4 doesn't really exist as people suggest it does. And the DS version, aka the PC version, is a completely different game mechanically. It has some skill systems like FF9 and like abilities and stuff. It's totally different. It's not even the same game. Oh yeah, we talked to you. Alright, I think I have leather armor on everybody. Let me check. Oh, you know what I do want is a copper sword. Oh, you need to sell in the item shop again, just like DQ2. Maybe you're the item shop. $22 gold for that. This is the place where we recruited, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, let's save it. Did we get that final level? We didn't. Dang it. Let's go get the level. Yeah, the reason why is because the first level is just like any other level. Like, they don't give you, like, starting level stats, really. I mean, they do a little bit with HP, but, like, yeah. So every level is substantial early on in the game. Why are we grinding? Because it's Dragon Quest. Because it's Dragon Quest. And every Dragon Quest is incredibly punishing in the beginning of the game. Dragon Quest 1 really makes you grind about 90% of the time that you play it. You have to grind a whole bunch, and then you can advance, and then you have to grind a whole bunch, and then you can advance. And, what was I saying? Even though later on, as DQ games advance, it gets smoother, it's still, you know, it's still going to, be punishing, I think, at this time. It might not. I don't know which game it starts being not punishing, but I do know that it's NES still. So we're not going to take any chances here. I know I played DQ8, and I had to grind to level 7 before I could even beat the first boss. Like, basically, DQ8, PS2, I had to grind to like 7 or 8 just to stay alive in the first dungeon, and the boss was so mean, even at like level 4. And that was like, it was like first dungeon was like a small little cave, and you go to boss, so I thought, okay, it's gonna be fine. And no, it was impossible to win at that level. So even in DQ8, a game on the PS2, I had to grind in the beginning. Although in DQ8, I only grinded in the beginning to level 7, and that was it. That was the only time I grinded. So if DQ8 still makes me grind in the beginning, I'm gonna grind on DQ3 in the beginning until I'm a few levels up, have some defenses and attack and HP and MP to sustain myself, and then I'll advance. Now, I'm not sure where I should go. The game kind of suggests that I should go south, but I kind of want to explore this island that I'm on. So I'm gonna go around this tower a little bit. Or I'm going to take one step and get an encounter. You know, one or the other. You know, actually, Bregan, I wanted to say something about that. I kept forgetting to mention about that text scrolling really interfering with the music. Because there's only some... Really, Hank? There's only so many audio channels that can be active at any given time. And a lot of the scrolling sound effects are just unnecessary because they just blop out the actual music tracks, you know? Well, Ahmed, no game should force grinding to advance progress. You should never be forced to grind. That's just lack of foresight on developers' part for for making the content. Oh, a town. You know, naturally difficult enhancing kind of thing. What's the word I'm looking for? Village of Reeve. Like, a good game is gonna have the difficulty curve be just about as you level. So you don't have to grind ever. You should never feel like you have to stop the game you're playing and grind just to advance. Now, granted, in old NES games, that was kind of, wow, Molasses is a woman. What's that? I'm wrong? Sure looks like a woman to me. She is a woman. Grinding was kind of a necessity to add game time to it because these old NES carts and game development at the time was very, very, very basic. Very primitive, And so they didn't have the capability of creating long games. Heck, FF3, the reason part of why FF3 is one of the most miraculous NES games of all time is just because of the sheer length of the game. It's a long game for an NES game. And it's got an insanely good OST. Wow, Magic Knife, Thorn Whip, Chain Sickle. Well, this is definitely some good stuff. I don't know who can equip what, though. That Chain Sickle is definitely going to be something to look at. Thorn Whip. I wonder if that's just like DQ8 whips where it's group hitting. What's up, Cheapers? Thanks for the host. How's it going? Evo, no way. It's too heavy. It won't budge. Well, I can move it. Dude, push mechanics, yo. Push mechanics. I wonder if there's a place I can put that to. Doing alright. Doing alright. It's a unicorn! Nay, I am a horse. It's a unicorn! Nay, I am but a horse! Hi. Did you obtain the thief's key? No. I hear there's a cave in the forest south of this village that connects to the Tower of Majima. Okay. A turban, huh? Interesting. I would like a potion. That would be 5 gold. Yes. Would you like anything else? Yes, I'd like a potion. That'll be 5 gold. Anything else? Yes, I'd like a potion. That'll be 5 gold. Would you like anything else? Yes, I'd like a potion. That'll be 5 gold. Anything else? Imagine going into a store and you can only ring up one item at a time. You can only handle one item at a time. You can only bring to the counter one item at a time. And that's it. But it's 8 gold. But it's not a potion either, is it? I'd like 2 pounds of rice. I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean. I'd like 1 grain of rice. Oh, that'll be 0.005 cents. Would you like anything else? Yeah, I'd like a grain of rice. Oh, that'll be 0.005 cents. Anything else? Yeah, I'd like a grain of rice. That'll be 0.005 cents. Anything else? No. No, actually, no, I don't want anything else. Nope. Uh-oh. Scorpion Wasp. Like as if, could you take 2 more? Could you take 2 more, like, more scary things than a scorpion and a wasp to put together? No. Scorpion freaking wasp, excuse you?
No! No!
There seems to be some distaste towards Dirge of Cerberus. Thank you, RPGC, for the $6 donation. With a vote to Star Ocean First Departure. And, oh god, there goes Hank. Well. F. I can see I'm gonna have to handhold Hank a little bit. Oh, you were knowing the scorpion wasps. Yeah, that's definitely something to know. The more you know. Na 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 na. Moles. Oh, she learned heal. Cool. Let's get out of here. This is bad. I attempted to progress in a Dragon Quest game. That was my mistake. My mistake. I attempted to advance. I won't happen again. Promise. What's up, Kim? Alice encountered a beef gate? I sure hope not. Oh, they got a little star next to him now. That's cool. The game really can't handle more than 3 sprites or 4 sprites on a axis. As soon as you get that 5th one on, it's just like, you can't stop it, make it stop. God, that hurts. I wonder if it's that way with the y-axis too, or if it's just the x-axis. Well, seems to be fine. I'm phasing in and out of existence! You know what's going on? It's alternating. It's alternating sprite. One frame for the one, and then 1 frame for the other. Do you guys see that? Do you guys see it, or is it, because I know Twitch isn't actually 60 FPS, so you may not be seeing it the way I see it. Alright, that was a bad way to go. It is east. Let's not go east. It looked fine to you? Like, were you seeing that you saw? Okay, that's important. Oh, it was a cave. Well, I'm streaming at 60 FPS, Shiner, and my NES is being broadcast at 60 FPS, and I'm capturing at 60 FPS. But Twitch isn't, like, actually 60 FPS. It's a little off. But it can be. It's you know how streaming services are, or it's, you know, it's, what do you call it, like, consistent FPS, right? Oh, well, this is a great welcome to the cave. Giant anteaters. Well, at least they're not giant uncle eaters, because that would be awkward. XP. This feels like the next stage. I feel like I skipped a tier. Alright, so I'm a little worried because I don't know if I want to leave this continent. And they said that this cave connects like the other continents or whatever like that, and I'm not sure that's really where I want to go. I feel like there's more to do elsewhere. Let's talk to the townspeople a little bit and figure out what's going on here. Dun, 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 dun. By the way, did you notice something? You want to see something really interesting? You know how I said they called the fourth character so like you got, hold on, where's my cursor? So you have HR for hero, then you have SR for soldier, WZ for wizard, PR for pilgrim, but really it's priest, and that's why they went with pilgrim. That's the real reason why. How many DQs have I played? I played 1 and 2 earlier this year. Those are on YouTube if you want to watch that. And we played DQ11 last year, which is also on YouTube. And we have played DQ8 a couple years back, but not on YouTube because I hadn't started YouTube by that time. And I know I've played like 3 or 4 or 5 or something in there somewhere. I know I've played some of these somewhere around there, but I don't remember which ones, and I was a kid, so I just... no memory of any of the old DQs, so... basically 1, 2, 8, and 11. I tried playing DQ7 on the 3DS remake, and it just... oh, God, it just dragged on! I got like 20 hours into it, and nothing had happened. It just dragged on and on and on and on and on, and nothing of value was happening, so I got really bored of it and stopped playing. Is there a way to save over here? I don't think there is. See, the thing is, I feel like it's a key thing. Like in DQ2, you get the silver key really, really early, so... it dragged on. Yes, dragon, yeah. Well, I know I played 5, because that's the one with the merchant and the multiple storylines, right? I know I played that one. Well, Ahmed, we'll be playing the PlayStation version of it later this year, so, I mean... that's 4? Oh, really? Well, then I guess that's the one I've played, I think. There was like a merchant and there was like multiple storylines. They all kind of came together. I just remember having to grind on the merchant storyline a lot because he starts at level 1. You thought DQ7 just came on the... that's what I said. I was just saying that. I said I played DQ7 on the 3DS and it just kept dragging on and I got really bored of it. So, I mean, I don't know about Epic Adventure, but I do know it was really, 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 really long before anything happened. We weren't talking about DQ4 though? What? I'm so confused. We were talking about, you said DQ7, I said I did play DQ7. A little bit. That's it. I think I missed something. It's one of your least favorites? Yeah. I can see that. Well, I will be playing 4 after this. Well, not directly after this. I don't know what I'm going to be playing next. Hold on, let me see. Because we're kind of what we're doing is we're playing a DQ game and then we're playing another retro game to like cover the gap a little bit, so it's not just a DQ marathon, because that's not really what I want to do. So like we played Star Ocean before that. We just beat Star Ocean on the SNES before we started this, but we played DQ2 before that. Oh! I know what I'm playing. I know what I'm playing after DQ3. I know what I'm playing after DQ3. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be busting out the Sega Saturn after DQ3 and playing Albert Odyssey. That's right, Sega Saturn. Everybody's really confused, like, what's that? Okay, Albert Odyssey is a game that I barely have any memory of, but I know. And when I was in high school, a friend of mine had a Sega Saturn, and